Hi, this is Jeff Spence, your Math 120 instructor for the Community College Denver, and this is our video lecture over section 11.1, which introduces the fundamental counting principle. So in chapter 11, we're going to be approaching different types of counting problems, a number of ways that things can happen, and that will slide into probability. Probability problems will be the end of chapter 11. So the fundamental counting principle will be used to determine the number of possible outcomes for a certain situation. It is one of three counting techniques that we're going to use. So 11.2 will introduce the next one, and 11.3 the other one. So this is our first counting principle, the or counting technique, excuse me, and it's called the fundamental counting principle. So if you can choose one item from a group of m things and a second item from a group of n things, then the total number of two item choices is m times n. Now this really works for a third choice and a fourth choice. It really just, the way I say this is, if you're selecting one thing from a certain number of things and you do that at a certain number of stages, you just multiply your options at each stage. And the number of options at each stage they're showing here is m and n, the number of items in each group. So a tree diagram is a visual way to show that. So for instance, if a person here is going to select an outfit and they're going to select a pair of pants and a shirt, and they have two different pairs of pants, like jeans and khakis or something, and they're going to select one of those pairs of pants. So if they select the jeans, then they have three different shirts to pick from, so tan, yellow, and blue. Or if they pick the khakis, tan, yellow, and blue shirt, that gives us 6 different combinations of outfits. So, and the reason that is because there's 2 choices for the pants and 3 choices for the shirts. 2 times 3, 6 different outfits. So another example would say Greasy Spoon Restaurant offers 6 appetizers and 14 main courses. How many ways can a person order a 2-course meal? In other words, 1 appetizer and 1 main course. So they're choosing one of each. So choosing from 6 appetizers choosing one of 6 appetizers and one of 14 main courses. The total number of 2-course meals is 6 times 14, which is 84. So let's say now that we have 3 stages of selection. So we're going to do pants, shirt, and then shoes. Okay. You still multiply your options at each stage. So even though this number of stages, we have one more stage of selection, we still just multiply our options at each selection. So 2 pairs of jeans, 2 times 3 kinds of shirts, 2 times 3 is 6, so that gives us 6 options here. But then when we multiply that by 2 options for shoes, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what the tree diagram shows, but it's just much easier to take the 2 kinds of jeans, the 3 kinds of shirts, and the 2 types of shoes, multiply those together because we're choosing 1 at each stage. We get 12 different options for outfits. Let's say next semester you're planning to take 3 courses, Math, English, and Humanities. There are 8 sections of Math, 5 of English, and 4 of Humanities that you find suitable, meaning they fit your schedule or something like that. So you're like, you could pick 1 of 8 sections of Math, 1 of 5 of English, and 1 of 4 of the Humanities courses. So how many different 3-course schedules are possible? It would just be the 8 times 5 times 4. 8 times 5 times 4, 160 different 3-course schedules where you choose 1 Math, 1 English, and 1 Humanities course. Let's say you're taking a multiple choice test that has 10 questions. Each of the questions has 4 answer choices with 1 correct answer per question. If you select one of these 4 choices for each question and leave nothing blank, how many ways can you answer the questions? So this is kind of like how many ways can you guess on a multiple choice question with 10 questions. Now remember, at each question is a stage. At each question you're going to make a decision. You're going to pick one of the 4 options. So at every stage you have 4 options, and there's going to be 10 stages of decisions because there's 10 questions. So question 1, question 2, they all have 4 choices. So really, it's just 4 times 4 times 4, 10 times in a row. And when you multiply a number by itself, that you can raise it a certain number of times, you can raise it to that exponent. So if we're doing 4 times itself 10 times, you can just do 4 to the 10. There are 1,048,576 ways that you can answer a 10 question 4-choice multiple choice test. Remember, 4 is the options at each stage, 10 is the number of stages. Telephone numbers in the United States begin with 3-digit area codes followed by 7-digit local telephone numbers. Area codes and local telephone numbers cannot begin with 0 and 1. How many different telephone numbers are possible? So 3-digit plus 7-digit, there's going to be 10 stages of choices, but the number of options is going to be different depending on if it's the first number or not. So the situation involves making choices with 10 groups of items. Here are the choices for each of the 10 groups of items. So for area code, there's 3-digit area code, but the first digit cannot start with a 0 or 1. So the first digit has 8 options, and then the next 2 digits have 10 options, 0 through 9. There's 10 different numbers. So the reason the 8's here is because we cannot start with a 0 or 1, but the area code after that can have a 0 or 1, so there's 10 options for those. So 8 times 10 times 10 times, and once again the first number cannot start with a 0 or 1, so we have a number 8 again, and then from then on you have times 10s. So if you multiply those numbers together, you get 6,400,000,000 different numbers. Now, that's the maximum number of numbers based on these rules. There are other rules, like you can't have 555, 55555 as a number, which reduces it a little bit. But this gives us an idea of about how many numbers we can pick from. So that's it. We're going to start the new counting techniques in the next 2 sections. Please watch all those videos together because all 11.1 through 3 are very closely related.